Hello and welcome to Raw Politics. This is Samson Ogola. Today we talk about the controversial housing fund as proposed in the Financial Bill 2023. Welcome. The other day I was going through a post by Viscount Kowur, his popular commentator on Facebook, and Viscount was listing a few things he found out after going through the financial bill of 2023, especially concerning the housing fund. As you know, housing fund has elicited a lot of discussion, debate. There are people who are 100% opposed to it, and then we have others who are not as sure what it is, and then we have those who are welcoming the move. Now, for those who are opposed to it without reading, there are some few things you need to know. For those who are not sure, I believe this video will help clarify a few things. In this short video, I'll share with you 5 things about this about this housing fund that you needed to know. Number 1, it is an investment. So this is not a tax per se. You see, there are people peddling news there that this is taxing the worker even more. No, this is an investment. You are being asked to invest in 2 things. Either have more as you retire, that is if you don't qualify for a house after 7 years of investment, or get a better house. Either way, you don't lose. If you don't qualify for the housing, that money is debited to your retirement benefits. You get more money as you retire. You don't retire poor. If you qualify for a house, you don't retire into a slum. So either way, you win. That is the first thing. It is an investment. I need to make that clear, that it is not a tax per se. It is an investment. Number 2, which is very important, this particular fund is one of those ways to encourage your employers to give you more. As you know, if you work in this country, employers will try to cut costs in every way. But in this case, if you give 3%, your employer must also contribute 3%. And this is very important because it's one of those few scenarios where your employer is topping up towards your betterment, towards your future. So just to reiterate, the second most important thing here is that it is adding you more money, okay, from your employer. Number 3, which I needed to note, is that this is a job creation tool. We always, in this country, have very few job opportunities. There are people who are overqualified, but they don't have any job, because those who are in power have never made it their business to create job opportunity for a majority. Take this housing program, for instance. There are so many people in Juakali who do welding, and because everything has been standardized, these people are going to make money because they are the ones who are going to get the jobs to make the doors, the windows, the rails, the stairs, etc. We have people who are from TVET, they have qualified as plumbers, etc., but they don't have jobs. These people will be absorbed. We have engineers out here who are jobless. So this is a job creation tool. And there is a beauty of creating job. The more people who are working, the less tax you will pay as a civil servant. The situation we have today is we have very few people who are working. And the fact that we have very few people who are working, the government wants to get all the money from these very few people. If we had many people inducted into the tax bracket, then you will end up paying less. So it is a job creation that has some benefit. In future, we may find ourselves in a position to actually finance our budget without having to borrow the way we currently do. That is number 3. It is a job creation tool. Number 4, which is also important here, is that these houses, unlike before, are distributed across the country. You see, initially, you would be complaining that I don't want to be restricted to Nairobi, that I cannot invest so that I can live in Nairobi my whole life. I would want to retire to my home county. Good news is these houses are being built everywhere. It is not limited to a city. In Homa Bay, they are there. They are being built in every other part of the country. And so you will choose where you want to retire, where you want to live, where you want your house to be. Is now that choice. Unlike before, now you have a choice. So number 4 is that the houses are located, decentralized, so you can live where you want. Contrary to what people are saying out there, you're not going to contribute $1 million for this house per month. You're not going to end up contributing 100,000. The contribution here, as far as the housing fund is concerned, as proposed in the Financial Bill 2023, is 2,500. So it is 2,500 from you and 2,500 from your employer. It is capped at 5,000. It's not something that you're going to find yourself paying maybe even 10,000 or 50,000. So it is capped at 5,000, 25 from you and 25 from your employer. 25 is the maximum from you. You can give less. Okay? It is 3% of your salary or 2,500, whichever is on the lower side. I need to make that very clear, that it is 3% of your salary or 2,500 shillings. We go with the one that is on the lower side. So you are not going to end up paying more than 2,500 shillings. That is very important to note, because some people have painted this as an extortion, where you will end up paying maybe even 3% of your salary being even 15,000 or 20,000 or 30,000. No, it is 3% of your salary or 2,500, whichever is lower. In case 2,500 is lower, that is what they go with. In case 3% is lower, that is what they go with. So some people will end up paying very little. Others will end up paying 2,500, the maximum. Your employer will top up with another 2,500 or 3% of your salary, whichever is lower. That is the thing here. That is important. So just to recap, the Finance Bill 2023 proposes a housing fund. This housing fund, as controversial as it is, it has some benefits. And just to remind you, it is an investment, very important. You get your money or you get a house. The houses, number 2, are distributed everywhere. So you are not going to be restricted to a city that you don't want, or a town that you don't want, or a county that you don't want. Another thing is that you only pay a maximum of 2,500. It's not a free-for. A maximum of 2,500 or 3%, whichever is lower. But the maximum is 2,500 from your side. Your employer will top up the same, 3% or 2,500, whichever is lower. It's also a job creation tool. The more houses we are building based on this fund, the more jobs we create. As we create jobs, we introduce many people to the tax bracket, which will lower the pressure on those who are already employed now. And as a matter of importance, project is that it is offering you one of those very few occasions where your employer is topping up to your retirement benefit or to your betterment. Thank you. I hope this was very helpful. If you are interested in videos that are focused on political analysis, telling you more beyond what the news is saying out there, then please take a moment and subscribe. If you like what we've talked about, share the video with your friends. Thank you.